Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Cold War AK47 in Warzone and why it's actually pretty good as a sniper support slash SMG type build, and also can be good at longer ranges as well. I'm going to go over all of the different classes, so an SMG build, a sniper support build and a longer range build for you guys as well, so you've got a good idea of how to use this gun in each situation, as well as go over a few tips and stats on the gun so you guys know how to use it and kind of where it excels over other weapons and how to use it to its advantages there. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do make sure you leave a like on the video down below, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. We'd love to have you here as part of the channel community, so make sure you press that subscribe button down below, press the notification bells on so you don't miss an upload, and help me reach 2k subs. That would be much appreciated. Other than that, let's jump straight into the video here. So as you guys can see on screen here, this is one version I have of the SMG or close range AK47 build. Now the issue with this build is it's pretty much got quite a slow ADS. So with the AK47, you're either hitting one of the criteria or another, and the reason you trade this off, either you've got like a quick ADS, you've got good mobility, you've got good accuracy, good recoil control, but you're not generally hitting all of the targets above. And the reason we do that is because the TTK on this weapon is super low and consistently reliable, meaning that you're going to be able to outgun people if you hit your shots with this weapon a lot of the time, which is really nice. Now it's not quite as fast and versatile as things like the FFAR. It's got a little bit more mobility, but then it's going to kill quicker and it is going to have a little bit more accuracy depending on the builds you use, so there's some things that outweigh it in those situations. Now the build I've got on screen for you guys here is with the regular suppressor, so the closer range suppressor here. Then gone for the VDV reinforced barrel. Now the reason we haven't gone for the Spetsnaz is because it does reduce your mobility and your accuracy a little bit more when you go for that one, and this one gives you pretty much the same benefits just to a lesser extent, so this is why I've gone for this one here. But if you want a barrel it's going to be just as good for bullet velocity and damage range, but doesn't really help you with the recoil, then you're going to want to hit up the Liberator barrel. That does increase your range by a little bit, decreases your damage slightly, but it's again a quicker barrel that you could use, maybe even the takedown barrel for the horizontal and effective damage range, but again you're not getting any vertical recoil control or any bullet velocity with that, so it's entirely up to you what you want to run, but this is going to be a more quick paced build. Then got the Tiger Team Spotlight on there, paired with the Spetsnaz Speed Grip, again for the sprinting move speed, horizontal recoil, and the 45 round mag. Now another way you could build a close range class if you wanted to, a lot of people drop the suppressor, bear in mind you will then appear on the minimap, and you can then either throw on an optic, so you could throw on like the Microflex LED, or if you didn't want to throw on an optic, you didn't mind it because it's going to be a close range build only, you could go ahead there and throw on maybe a stock such as the KGB Skeletal, which gives you a ton of up close potential, sprint to fire time, which is really nice, making it a lot more of a snappy build. Again, another thing you could do here, if you kind of feel like the recoil's okay, you could either add the Spetsnaz. If you're feeling the vertical recoil's a little bit too much, you could switch out to that one, or if you're feeling like the recoil's generally okay, you can manage it, or you just want it to be a really close snappy weapon, hit up the rear grip and whack on the Groot elastic wrap. Again, it'll give you ADS time, and it'll just mean that it's a lot more quick, snappy build for very up close 0 to 50 meter challenges, and it's going to hold out pretty well in those situations. Now if you are going to look at this weapon as more of a sniper support style role, then this is going to be the kind of setup you're looking at here, with the Groot suppressor on here. Obviously gives you the most bullet velocity, most effective damage range, a little bit of vertical recoil control, and sound suppression there, which really does help obviously staying off the map when you're using it for sniper support. You're going to want to make sure that at those longer range engagements you're not getting third partied as often, because you're going to be able to stay off the minimap with the suppressor, so it's a lot better for you. Obviously maximum bullet velocity and damage range increase is really useful as well, because it means that obviously when you are hitting those 70 to 80 meter challenges, you are actually going to be able to contest them. Microflex really helps when it's a sniper support build, and I do actually believe that this is one of the best builds of the AK in the game. This is my favourite build for it, and the Microflex is really good because it just gives you that accuracy at longer ranges. Could throw on a 2 or 3 times, but then it's getting into that longer range category, which if you're going to run it with a sniper, you really don't need it for that, so Microflex is really nice there. Spetsnaz grip on the underneath there, just to give you that recoil control. 45 round mag on there, and the Groot elastic wrap on the back, just to give it that little bit extra ADS time and flinch resistance, aim and stability, so it gives you a lot more accuracy. Now again, if you are okay with range and you're not too bothered about being range, you're kind of going for a snappy quick scope and sniper class, could take off the Spetsnaz grip and maybe put on something like the Tiger Team there, or maybe even a barrel, maybe the Spetsnaz barrel for example. But generally as a sniper support build, this is going to be your best bet. You can go ahead and throw on the 60 round mag, but that does then affect your ADS time again, so it depends how snappy you want this gun to be. I personally prefer the 45 because it doesn't affect your ADS time at all, making it a lot more of a snappy build. But if you're not too bothered, you can throw on that one. Bear in mind, if you do throw on the 60 round mag, you almost definitely want to run the Groot elastic wrap every single time just to negate some of that ADS reduction. If you're not running it, like I say there, you can swap out the Spetsnaz grip, or you can swap out the grey elastic, maybe even throw on the KGB skeletal stock there. Kind of just fine tune this weapon to however it works for you and how your playstyle works. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down, a lot of different builds that work really, really nicely, because the main thing about this is the rate of fire is decent. TTK is very, very good, meaning that your overall damage and DPS with this weapon is going to be super, super high, and that's why it's worth the trade-off for these attachments and things here. Now, if you are looking to run this gun as a long-range class, you're going to need a decent bit of recoil control, okay, because this gun is pretty insane on the recoil until you get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's actually quite a recognizable pattern, meaning that you can control it fairly easily once you have got that familiarity with the recoil on this, which makes it a really, really good weapon for those intermediate to expert level players who are kind of hands-on with the game, regular with the recoil, good at controlling it, good with movement, that kind of thing. This is going to be a really good long-range build for you guys. It's still really far up there in the competitive terms of this meta. Obviously, it's quite open. We can use pretty much any weapon at the moment, but this gun is going to shine through in those top 5 to top 10 guns in the entire of Warzone right now. It's one of the best weapons. But obviously, it's really good close range for the same reasons. When you do get your shots on at long range, it is still really, really good. And the damage drop off is pretty much nothing. So you're going to get a very similar TTK as you are short to medium range than you will at long range as well, which makes it super, super good. But the recoil does disadvantage it there. So it's kind of a trade-off whether you want to use it or not. In terms of what a long range build would look like, then we've got the groove suppressor again, maximum bullet velocity and effective damage range. Keep yourself off the minimap, it's really important. Spetsnaz barrel on there again for bullet velocity and effective damage range maximum, but you've also got horizontal and vertical recoil control on that barrel, which is really, really nice. Exel 3 times for that 3 times scope on there. Obviously, for it being a long range class, you're going to want to be able to see things at a longer distance. Really, really helps you get up to 100, 110 meters easily. Spetsnaz grip to reduce the recoil to the maximum potential there. And then we've gone with a 60 round mag. Now, obviously, I said with the previous version, that sniper support, you always want to run the grew elastic. With this version of the build, with a long range build, you're hopefully going to have like an SMG or a shotgun or an LMG, quick build, whatever you want to run as an up close build there. Probably an SMG, let's say. And that's going to be a short, snappy class, so you're not actually going to need the ADS time on this one. Chances are you're going to be sitting a lot further back and picking up people, maybe even most of the time seeing people first when you are rocking this weapon out. So generally you don't need the ADS time to be as quick, which is why you can get away with the 60 round mag without the groove suppressor on there, because this is a lot more of a picking class. The recoil's reduced the maximum potential on this. It's got the most damage range and bullet velocity you can possibly have on a class with this setup, which makes it really, really nice and super effective at taking down people at long range. As I say, it has got a decent amount of recoil, but once you get used to it, it is really, really good. So it's kind of take your pick with that. If you want to try it out and get used to it, you'll do wonders with it. If you kind of want a more easier weapon, try out the Kilo, the M13, things like that are going to be a lot more steady. So kind of swings and roundabouts with this one. So hopefully you guys have found these classes useful. They have been optimized for the ranges that they were at. So the SMG one, obviously up close to medium range. The sniper support, close to medium range again, but more focused on that medium to short range version. And then obviously the final version there being the long range AK build. It's pretty good at all ranges, but like I said, the long range one does have a fair bit of recoil, as does the short range one. But when you're using it at kind of short ranges, you can hit fire more, you can ADS more. It's got a snappier time and a great TTK, which is what brings it up there. So once you get used to the recoil patterns on this gun, it is going to be fantastic, but don't expect to pick it up and be instantly beaming, because it does take a couple of games to get used to. But once you get there, it is really, really good and definitely worth using. Now, if you've been sleeping on the AK, or you just haven't decided to try it out yet because you thought it was a bit meh, so did I before I used it. I've tried it out over the past couple of days, and as you can see from a lot of these clips, it melts super, super quickly. So it's definitely worth trying out. Tips for using this weapon if you're using the SMG class: be aware that anything at sort of medium range plus 50-60 meters onwards, it's going to be crap at, because you're not going to get enough accuracy. You're going to have too much recoil. TTK is going to be good, but the chances of you hitting more shots than your opponent pretty much nil. So just make sure that it's close range only. On a sniper support version, you're going to have that long range capability, or at least that mid range capability, probably up to around 70-80 meters comfortably. But again, once you get past the 80 to 90 meter mark, it is going to be a bit uncontrollable on the recoil, and you are going to not have quite as fast an ADS as the close range build. So you need to be aware that if you are then coming in against someone that has got a faster ADS weapon, maybe the Bullfrog, the Mac 10, anything like that, you are going to maybe struggle in those close range situations. So maybe it's that you want to swap out one of the Spetsnaz grip, maybe if you can control the recoil well, put on the grew elastic wrap instead, maybe that'll give you a bit more ADS time. So it is about fiddling around a little bit with the attachments and finding out what works for you the best. And obviously on that long range class there, you just need to be aware the ADS time is going to be slow, recoil is going to be fairly high, but it's the best recoil, damage range, bullet velocity and highest TTK weapon in that range. So it's kind of worth getting used to. So it's up to you what you want to use. Fiddle around with the attachments, fine-tune them to your playstyle, your preferences, and you will find this gun to be a ton of fun. Hopefully you found the video useful, learned something new. If you have, make sure you drop a like on the video down below. If you are new to the channel, make sure you drop that subscribe, help me reach 2k. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and peace.